Okay, you got the old Uncle Don here, getting older and not that smart, but not that silly. Uncle Don, I'm going to talk to you today about toasted sandwiches, or maybe something else. Now, I think it's important when it comes to toasted sandwiches to wait, absolutely wait until it's time and you can say this toasted sandwich is delicious. But you need to be able to wait. You need to be able to wait to the right time to be able to say that, especially when it comes to a breville sandwich, because they can be the most delicious, but also the most burny, the most burny of all feasts. So listen, if you have ears. Okay, so my toasted sandwich has been sitting here for about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, I couldn't be sure. But I want to talk to you today about being patient. It's very important to be able to accept, and it's like accept that we need to wait for the circumstances to be right for what we invested in to pay off. And let's say that a lot of the time we don't make like an investment. It's not preempted. It's not it's not premeditated or anything like that. It's just like, you know what, I'm gonna put my heart into this and just let it play out to how it does. And that is what I'm saying that we need to do when we have schizophrenia, is not to play into this relationship that we can have with the destructive nature that is within all of us. I mean, let's face it, we all have a destructive tendency towards not only ourselves but also to other people. And I come to you at this time. I'm quite full. I've had at least a few pints, quite full. So yes, there's the barrier between here and there is not as full as it might be, and I think that's important when it comes to being an actor, when it comes to being able to express our true nature. Well, we need to shut down this part sometimes, but the important part is this part that comes from here. And it does come from here through here. You often hear singers or singing instructors. My toasted sandwich is getting cold, so I hope you appreciate this, because sometimes singers will tell us that your voice comes from here. It comes from within your deep within your chest, and it comes up through your body and out here. And that's what's called singing from your heart. It's almost difficult to try and talk to people while I have a nice, tasty, toasted sandwich right there in front of me. Look, I will show it to you. I put spaghetti sauce, my favourite spaghetti sauce that I cooked, and cheese. Why wouldn't you put cheese with spaghetti sauce? But yeah, it's there. You're there. Let's pause. It's good. And be careful not to bend my tongue, you know that. It's a breville, mate. You should be sure. The good thing about snails is you're never homeless. What can I say? That's the way it is. Okay, so we're back after a nice toasted sandwich, spaghetti sauce and cheese. Great, but not so great for the cholesterol that my doctor wants me to watch out for. So, on second thoughts is what we'll start this video on. So, quite often get the opportunity to think again, and often we do not get the opportunity to think again. We need to think again. It's important, and I'm under the influence of alcohol right now, but even now I realise at this point it's so important to think again. Because when we think again, it's not so much the thinking again. It's like from here to there. It's not so much the thinking again as it is, and we don't have any say in that, how that affects people that we know and love. It's like once we think again, and it's that part we have no control over. It's like, I gave you my heart, and it's like you've got no control over that. Let me put it this way: it's something to be able to share your mind, and a lot of the times when you share your mind, you're not thinking about. When you share your mind, you're not thinking about. As like when you're sharing your heart, you're expecting some kind of repercussion. It's like you share your heart, and it will come from here to here, and it will come out here, and then it's that bit. You've got no control over that bit, and it's important to realise that when you're playing the game for that bit that you've got no control over, I saw from here, gone from here to here, out here. It's when you're playing for that part there, that it's no longer from here. It becomes from here. And that's where schizophrenia will start, is up here in your mind. And it's difficult, I know, to try and accept that people have the opinion they do, or want to incorporate on the opinion they have, or want to add to what it is that's come from here, so that it becomes part of that thing. You have nothing to say. You can't say what's from. You say it's from here, and that bit there, you got no say in what that bit there is. It doesn't matter. You can make up this big. It's so small. It's like that small. It's like that. You can't fucking count that bastard. But it's that bit that you have no control over that somebody asserts. Now, I don't know what to say about assertion other than an affirmation coming from your heart, an affirmation to say, yes, that is right. I believe in that. That is something I will take to heart. This is nothing that I cannot overcome. That affirmation is so important. But if you want to take a few steps backwards, you're going to come to that point where it's like, where you had no control. There was always that step where you hand it over. You hand that over and have no control. And just let be what is. And, well, that's just it. If you want it to be, then you should lead by example. Simple as it gets. People who want to assert the opposite. So your standpoint is, and somebody wants to assert the opposite. It's like that don't stick together for too long. It can go together because you've got the cross there. It can go together. There is ways that you can put that together. But you've got to realise that in this opposition, so it's like you've got these 2 points of opposition. There is only one way. There is only one way. There's only one way. There is certainly only one way. And it doesn't come from here. It doesn't come from there. It doesn't come from here. It doesn't come from there. It comes from here. And where you're going to stand and where you're going to make your point, whether it be these points or those points or this point or whatever point you've got. So you've got north, east, or north, east, south, north. You've got all the points of the compass. You've got all the circumference of the entire universe. Now, think about that for a minute. Then every point in the universe you seek starts with one point. And without a starting point, you've got no dualism, you've got no from here to there. You've got no anywhere. It's like you need to have that point that's going to lead you somewhere. So schizophrenia is going to distract. It's going to distract us from making a point. It's so often I find people with a mental illness, they get distracted by these points that people can label. I'm not even going to mention the words. You know what they are because it's up here. It's up here. They say, I say, anybody says. But what do people hear? What do people hear relates to who they are, and if we are going to be enabled, we're going to need to be able to relate to where people are at, and the majority of people are at. And it's all about words and your choice of words and how people relate to what you have said. There's a lot of times when, as an insane person, people look at me as if to say, you're fucking crazy, man. But there's other times I'll say something when I try to keep it as anonymous as possible. And I mean as anonymous as possible. I try not to allocate voices or thoughts an identity. Once you allocate them an identity, you what's the name? Yourself. You implicate yourself in an association. So it's about social science, yes. It's about social science, but it's also about thinking again, and not thinking as if that individual voice that you hear is an individual, but it is a train of thought. It is a thought that you can relate to a group of people, and this group of people is something that you need to be able to incorporate on. So we're getting a low battery. We've got a sign. Okay, so that's it. That's it from Drunken Don on a Tuesday. I've got no wheels to do no work, so I'm not going to leave any advertisement at the end of this video, but you know who to call.